Alright guys, thanks for joining me, and today we are going to take a look at some of the alternate arts in Sword and Shield. Some of the big hitters, some of the ones that were doing extremely well on release or slightly after it, and we're going to go back and take a look at those to see how they are performing today. I know a lot of people here in the market in 2022 that Umbreon Chasing the Moon is the hot ticket and Charizard alternate art is the hot ticket. Well, today we're going to take a look to see how they've actually been performing with the numbers and not just what you're hearing. So there could be a big difference between what people are saying on sites and what they're willing to do and what you're actually getting. So guys, this will really be great for your Pokemon investing in 2022. Also, to make your decisions on how you may want to look at some of these and maybe give you some opportunities to watch to jump in on some of these, because I feel that all these alternate arts will perform extremely well over time. So guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and as always, hit that like button. We get 75 likes in this video. It's greatly appreciated. It helps us out a ton. And of course, it doesn't cost you a thing. So please hit that like button before you leave just to help us out a bit. Now, let's go ahead and take a look. We'll click right down into the whole deal here. And the first one to pull up is the Urshifu Single Strike from, of course, Battle Styles. That's right. This is the first one that came out. First set of alternate arts. Of course, this was one of the heavy hitters along with the Sleepy Tyranitar in that set. So those two are really the two number 1 and 2. Single Strike was right behind it. Now, as you can see, currently this card is running at $55. I can tell you when this first came out, this card was running well at about $180 to $100 and has just slowly kind of trickled down. Now, how has this thing performed in the last few months? Well, if we go down here and we look at the last 3 months, it actually did a really good growth curve here in the last few months. I think more and more people are trying to get these alternate arts to probably complete those sets and really trying to round them things off. And so they were taking the chance and the opportunities at this. But now you can see, and once again, the reason I'm bringing this up, I feel that this is more of an economy-driven problem than it is the actual popularity of the cards. People just aren't willing to spend as much on these items, which is expected. If you got to spend money on food and gas, and also the people that are selling these cards are in the same situation, their expenses keep going up and up and up and up. And there's no relief, right? We're just seeing it go up and up and up with no relief. So they need to turn and burn product too in order to make up some income. So I feel that there's some dual things going on, but it's not in every single alternate art. Now, why do I bring this up in a type of marketing situation? Well, I see these as going to be great opportunities, because if this card continues to drop, and I mean, it's not like it's been a huge gain. I mean, you're talking right here, you're on 53 and your high was about 60. So you're talking about $7. It's not like it's a huge gainer at that point. But if this continues to go down, and let's say it does go back down to that $50 range, there's going to be some great opportunities on these cards, especially these original alternate arts, to really get after them, because people don't really like opening this set. Which means if you go down to the listings down below, as old as this set is, there's only 60 listings of this out there right now. So that's kind of an indicative thing of what we're seeing with alternate arts is low listings, but we're seeing the prices also come down, which can be, just like I said, economy driven. Next one I'm going to pull up here is going to be quite a few of them here today, guys. I'm going to try and move kind of quick. Blaziken. Now, Blaziken was one of the top ones from Chilling Reign when it first came out. And this one was $95. We're currently, right now, you can see, though, this one has also gone from 106 all the way down to 99, 90, right in that range. We have seen some sales here in the last couple days here of 121 to 115, which may not be reflected, but as you can see, we are seeing overall on the market itself a drop. So that means the averaging of what's going on right now has been going down in price. So the market's about $100. Now, if we go down, once again, only 26 listings this card. Guys, people aren't opening a lot of Chilling Reign right now either. I mean, a lot of people that have it right now, I think, are sitting in it as an investment in long term. And the set itself is really hard pulls. If you remember back to Chilling Reign, trying to get these alternate arts out of here was extremely difficult, which of course is showing up or being indicative here in the listings. Let's be honest, if you were pulling this card right now, if I were to pull this card right now, I would list it in a heartbeat for $100. I don't think I'd even hesitate on that. But that's the point is that we're seeing a lot of these cards continually going in the downward direction like this. And I just want to bring these up because, once again, Blaziken, one of the hot ones from, of course, Chilling Reign. Next one we'll move into. Galarian Moltres V was another hot one from Chilling Reign. Once again, we're seeing the same kind of trend. Downward trend in the last couple weeks, going into the last month. It's been pretty consistent on all the alternate arts. Once again, we go down to listings. There's a little bit more listings around that 53 mark. Sales currently running about, been a couple of them at 99, but most of them have been around that $85 range. Once again, not surprising. I think that there's a lot of downward pressure right now in the market just because of the cost of everything. Does that mean it's a bad thing? No, I think this is a great opportunity to maybe jump in and try and get in on some of these that you may have been waiting. Like I said, sometimes it's just timing things and getting into them rather than trying to get them just to have them. And this is a perfect opportunity or example how if you were getting worried with these things going up like this, you could actually get in on them now as they come back down towards a repeat as the markets kind of get pushed down. Next one here, Galarian Zapdos, again from Chilling Reign. So if we go down, we're seeing the exact same trend on this one. Of course, the Galarian Zapdos was not as much. I did not even pull the Articuno, but this is what you're looking at for pricing. You're at about $42 on this one. Once again, downward pressure in the market is pushing this down lower, and we only have, again, 49, about 50 listings of this card, all of which are near mint. Well, I lied. There's a couple lightly played ones here, but some people do that to cover their butts too. So if there is a ding, a mark, or something that may cause it to go out of what they would consider near mint to a seller, they will not complain and put a bad star rating at them. So that's also a tactic that you can use on here. By the price, I guarantee that they're not thinking I'm worth that low. Once again, sales are right in that range, around that $42 mark. There is one here for about $49, the last 3 sales. So we are seeing a pretty indicative push downward on this card. I'm thinking we might even see it go down again tomorrow, considering the recent sales today have been around that 30 or 43 mark. And it looks like this one's going to be about $43 too. So we might see a little bit of a push down again tomorrow on this particular card. Once again, I don't think it's market, but I think there's going to be some great opportunities in there very shortly. Next one I've got from, of course, Evolving Skies. We're going to move into the next set, which is, of course, the Dragonite V. Now, I bring this up because, once again, this alternate art has done fairly well. It's continued to move up slowly up until about the same time frame. So we're seeing the exact same pattern on these cards of when they drop. Now, to me, that's more indicative of the outside market pushing down than it is the actual Pokemon market itself. Now, does that mean that there's no opportunities in here? Absolutely not. I think that if you watch these cards and you kind of give them some time, once again, we know Evolving Skies is getting a reprint here in August. Sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a smaller one, but we do know it's coming. So, once again, great opportunity to watch this Dragonite card, and you might be able to get these at some really good prices once again, where you might have been waiting on them and hoping for the best, and you missed out, or you felt like you missed out. And this is just an example in the Pokemon market in 2022, how you may not miss out. You may get another chance. Just don't give up on these cards, guys. There's some great opportunities. Once again, there's only 36 listings of this card. Very low population for the listing side of it. Once again, I think this is one of the more difficult ones to pull out of Evolving Skies. It's the one that I have not pulled. So it is a more difficult chase for the amount of packs that I've opened in Evolving Skies. Recent sales, last 3, 75, 71, and of course we got one at $100. Next one sitting up here queued up is about $75 if someone purchases it. So overall, I think that this market pricing may kind of push down again tomorrow, considering, well, that $100 one might keep it about the same for averaging. So it depends on when this one sells. But once again, keep an eye on these guys. If you like these alternate arts and you feel like you missed out, definitely some futuristic gains here. Once again, we're going to go into Fusion Strike, which is going to be this Gengar VMAX. Gengar VMAX, once again, you look at that time spot right here around that beginning of May. We start to see it go down. Now, I'm bringing these ones up because I will kick in the other ones. And if you did notice, I missed the Sleepy Tyranitar, and I did miss a couple of them that you would think I would put on here for Evolving Skies, and there's a reason for that. And they'll come up here at the end. I'll catch all those ones again on the backside. But I wanted to keep these ones out. Same with this card. You're going to see a different trend on the other ones, and I pulled them out specific and for a reason. So we're going to see these ones. Gengar here has been slowly migrating in a downward trajectory since March. It's been doing really well, going up. Kind of went down a little bit here and then kind of trudged back up. And then at the beginning of May, we've seen that slow down. Once again, about 50 listings. It seems pretty consistent with these alternate arts that there's about 50 listings on them, especially as they start to get about that 5-6 month old sets. So we're actually seeing that. Overall, we've seen 80, 88, and a 104 sale on this. To me, that means that we're going to be seeing this probably on average dropping down to about $95 tomorrow from $199. So once again, it's going to continue its little downward trend. Next one queued up right here is going to be about 81.50 for your pricing. So once again, we're looking at a different push down. And once again, I think it's a lot because these places are trying to get sales. Sales have slowed down, even on singles. They haven't slowed down as much on singles as it has on sealed product. But I can tell you quite a few of these sell both. So if they're starting to see a slowdown on the sealed product, they are starting to lower their price on their singles to make them more appealing for sale or to bring themselves to the top of the list to sell them quicker. So once again, that's part of the reason I think that we're seeing this is because they are just trying to get out of this and try and keep that income rolling into them as long as they can. Next one I'm going to show Charizard V alternate art. Once again, this is the brand new one from Brilliant Stars. I didn't do anything in Astral Radiance because everything is just all over the place for numbers. It's still settling into where it wants to be, so we're going to stop at Brilliant Stars for alternate arts. But this is one of the most recent ones, and once again, look at the date, guys. Right that first May 2nd to 4th. Instantly start seeing some drop, and it's been consistent on all these ones that are dropping. Once again, we're about 59 listings on it. A lot of these listings are going down. Check this one out. You're sitting at about 152 right there on that one. We have seen some sales about 180 for these. So the next one queued up is going to come down. Hold on. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to see some downward movement on this still again. Once again, this one could be, a lot of people would say this is because it's getting older. There's more of them available. There's less people wanting to buy it. The problem is that I have with that is the date that it's happening. If you're seeing a consistent date on every one of these drops, that tells me it's more of the card or the market outside of it than it is people in the card. And we've seen it consistently, even all the way back to Battle Styles alternate arts. RCSV, once again, seeing a little bit of a downtrend right at the end of April, beginning of May. Seeing the same consistency, guys. We have this one. This was just on Friday's video, but I brought it up again. We're sitting, the next one is queued up for about $44 in sales. Last one's 47, 47, and 50. Current market today is about 49. And if these prices start to move through at 47, 47, and we see this one come through, you're going to see some downward pressure. There is a lot more listings of this one, guys. This is probably the heaviest alternate art that's out there with 100. And you're seeing in the pricing, it's starting to feel that downward pressure. Like I said, consistently, I think it's just because people are trying to improve the areas of the markets that are still selling, which is the singles more than the sealed. So we're seeing a little bit of a drop on these just to try and get some sales out of it. Now here's where I'm going to transition into something different. And this is a little bit less of an impact on your Pokemon investment in 2022. These are going to be cards that I would really watch because they do extremely well and have done extremely well. But they aren't performing quite the same as most of the other alternate arts. And I mean, you can literally pull almost every other alternate art back in these time periods, and they're all doing about the same thing. So definitely something that is happening, but it could be, these ones have been performing at this point on. So the first one I'll pull up is the Tyranitar. Now, the Tyranitar is running about $80. Current market value is about $75, but we're actually seeing, as you can see, since May, it's been just kind of jumping around. More flatline, more consistent. Now, why is that? Well, this is a pretty sought after card. This is one of the best ones from Battle Styles, and it brings in a lot of cool rendition with, of course, Tyranitar eating all the food that was around. And, of course, poor little Pig Knight sitting over there just crying because he lost his dinner. But, yeah, this is one of those things that's just one of the ones that's consistent. Now, does that mean that this card's going to be potentially investable? Not right now. I wouldn't be looking at it right now because I feel that there is going to be quite a bit of a slowdown on this. This one, I would keep it on the back burner versus the other ones where I would definitely be watching how they handle. So I'd be looking at the ones I do before, but I want to bring these up just to show you how some of these are still performing in the market in 2022. So once again, 53 listings, consistent number in alternate arts. Once again, next ones queued up are about 59, 64, right in that range. So once again, we might be seeing a little bit of this blipping up and down right in here for the market price. Recent sales have been between 80 and 74, but I feel that this one may start to move down. Once again, probably the same reasoning. You're starting to see sellers trying to sell more and trying to be the guy on top of the list to get that cash flow continuing into their businesses. So these guys here that you see up here are usually fairly large ones, like this Top Cut Comics. You know, look at this guy, CA Online. You have the Collector Store LLC. So the guys that are pushing the top of the list with these lower numbers are definitely the people that are fairly decent sized stores here on TCG Player. This guy, a little smaller, but still trying to stay ahead, maybe trying to sell it out. Maybe someone my size just trying to get out of it as fast as they can. Rayquaza V alternate art. Now, I know a lot of people are sitting there going, well, it's $225. What are you talking about that this one is not performing very well? Well, if we take it a look, I'm just going to put it here. May 1st, May 2nd, right in that range. Once again, guys, it dumped. It went down. Granted, it's come back up because I think it got a little bit of a feeding frenzy on this card because it is a fantastic card. People are really excited about this card. So when people saw this pricing start to drop here at the beginning of May, they started jumping in on it, and it's kind of moved that market back up because of consistent sales. But once again, we're kind of seeing that bouncing pattern. We're not seeing that downward drop, but we're not seeing an upward movement either at this point. So since the beginning of May to today, it's been more flat, staying right about that 225, 215 mark, right in between it. So once again, one of them areas where we're not seeing a lot of movement and we're not seeing a lot of things happen. And we are seeing, this one had a damage one, so I'm not going to count it. But you look at these near mints, we're looking at about 205 and 204. So we're going to see this kind of start coming down again. Same thing, new listings, 200, 204, 211. You got 212, 214. And once again, they're the bigger stores here, guys, that got a lot of sales. Some smaller ones here, but yeah, they're higher end stores, Gold Star stores, trying to get consistent sales. If they have it, they're trying to sell it to keep the money flowing in the business. Next one we're going to go into, Umbreon VMAX. Now, this is one of them you hear everybody talk about. It's $350. I get it. It's a very high-end card. It's very expensive. A lot of people like to sit there and think, holy crap, this thing is $350. Why is it even? Why are we talking about this? This card is doing fantastic. We hear about it all the time, how great this card is doing. Umbreon Reaching for the Moon is just hot, hot, hot. Everybody wants it. Everybody's pulling Evolving Skies to try and find it. Well, if we take a look, once again, as funny as it sounds, I can almost tell you where it drops. May 1st, we saw a downward movement on that, up, and then it kind of caught itself again. But once again, we have not seen any real movement on this card since the beginning of April. Yes, it's $350, but no, it's not moving. So even though we're hearing all this talk about how popular and how great this card is and how everybody wants this card, if you could pull it from Evolving Skies out of a 1 or 2 booster boxes, well, now you're 2 booster boxes. You could sell it and break even on the booster boxes, and everything else that you pull would be profit. But the issue is that trying to pull this is very difficult. It's one of the most difficult cards to pull out of the Evolving Skies set. And it's also one of the best artworks in the set. So, you know, Pokemon knows what they're doing. They're going to keep you chasing the card that they want you to chase for a collection standpoint. Once again, upcoming sales. You're looking at $250 plus $2. We are going to probably see this card start to tumble down. Even the recent sales on it. I don't know who paid $700. It might have been a graded card. I'm willing to bet this one was a graded card. But even recent sales now, we're starting to see some of the recent sales are coming up under 200 or under 300. Yes, this one was at 350 almost. But the upcoming sales that are happening pretty soon are starting to come under $200. Now, these are all lightly played. Let me find the next near mint. So we're looking about $300 on the next near mint. So 305 for the next near mint and 318 are the next two on deck. Once again, could be indicative of what we're seeing for the current market and what's happening with the Pokemon market in 2022. But definitely check that out. Another one here, Espeon VMAX from Fusion Strike. I'm going to pull this up. We got one more after this that I want to go over. And of course, here we go. The Espeon VMAX. We're looking at $99 currently. Once again, $100 card. This is one of the best top 3 out of Fusion Strike between Gengar, Espeon, and of course that Mew VMAX. $100 right now. Once again, I could almost put the needle on the date for when it actually peaked and went down. Once again, to me, that's an external source that's making that move. You're seeing an external movement on every one of these alternate arts, and then they just kind of bounce. This one's the alternative to the market, which is just a bouncing up and down. Not a lot of movement. We're staying around that 100, around that 109 to 105. So we're not doing a lot of movement on that one, guys. It's pretty much flat. Once again, sales coming up. Right here, that's a moderately played, lightly. Here's your first near mint. You're looking at about 104, 105, 105, 105. So we're looking at about 105 recent sales, pretty much matching right there in that price range. So we're going to stay pretty consistently at that 105. So we're at 109. It might not move very much. It's going to, once again, bounce right in that window. But once again, who knows how long until that lasts? That might be one of those things that's short-lived. Next one, Mu VMAX. This one is down to 71. Recent sales on the near mint have been sitting around 70 to 85. This has been one of the top ones, and this is the only alternate art that I can find that since May, and I can't even find it, since May, right here, it has gone up. The only alternate art. All the rest of them have gone down. May 1st, they dropped. They peaked at about April 31st to May 1st, and they all dropped. This one has been the only exception, and it's gone up, and now we're seeing a little bit of a downturn, but not much, guys. So this one, this particular card is the only one that's an exception to the rule. But all the other ones show an indicative change in what people are willing to pay and stuff right at that May point. Now, once again, I'll go down 50 listings. Like I said, they're pretty much consistently. There's your sales. Your next queued up ones are going to be about $75. 75, 76, 70, 76, 77. So just look it up. That's where you're looking at for those. Do I think that there's some good opportunities in alternate arts? I think they're coming. Indicatively of the market right now, I know a lot of people are starting to flee. A lot of people are trying to push sales. We're seeing that downturn in the, of course, the sealed product. And naturally, people will start moving into the, not from the sealed, but into the singles to try and capitalize where they can on those sales. On Friday, I'm hoping we're going to have Mason and Professor Oak. I don't know why I had Pokey in my head, but Professor Oak and Mason on here from Cardinal Gaming. Hopefully then we can have a little discussion on what he's seeing in the market, being in the sales point of things. I kind of like that mashup of the three of us because I'm more of the investor in sales on the online side. Professor Oak is your collector, pretty much primarily does collecting. And then, of course, you got Mason who runs a full-out business. So it's a great discussion, a great opportunity to have a discussion on what's really happening in the market from two perspectives, from my perspective and Mason, and then also see what Professor Oak is doing for purchasing right now on the collecting side of things. So I think it'll be a really fun conversation. That'll be, sounds like Friday, around 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central time. So if you guys are interested, definitely mark your calendar. As soon as I have that down for sure, I will put up the link so that way you guys can get a reminder on that. Other than that, I know this one went a little bit longer, guys, but when you're talking about the market, sometimes it gets drug out a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of information inside of here, and there's a reason I wanted to cover it, is to definitely show you that there's a definite date where we saw a peak on almost all the alternate arts, right across the spectrum. Alternate arts kind of peaked around that May 1st and May 2nd, and when you see that inside of a market, when you see a macro or a small micro environment like this in Pokemon, and they all do the exact same thing at the exact same time point, that typically is indicative of an external source pushing on this market. Once again, it kind of is just justifying the terms of where we discussed that we are starting to see some outside effects with inflation, the price of food, the price of gas, all this stuff going up is going to continue to kind of put a hamper on this. So once again, guys, hopefully I brought you some good information. If I did, be sure you hit that subscribe. Be sure that you hit that notify to make sure you keep up with us when we're doing new things. And last but not least, hit that like button. We can get 75 likes in this video. Greatly appreciated. Helps us out a ton. Once again, it's free for you. And as always, I will put up these two videos up over here for you, for your enjoyment afterwards, and for your information and entertainment. I like to try and give you a little bit of both. Sometimes we open some things down on this channel again. Other times we are just discussing what's happening in the market and how you can do your Pokemon investing in 2022. But other than that, guys, if you do like this content, once again, hit the like button and be sure you hit the subscribe. And we will see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.